Hey y'all, it's Crystal. Thanks for coming by today. Let's wrap up April because, well, that flew by fast, didn't it? April is like done and dusted, and we are in May now. It is May 5th. Yeah, we're just trucking along, right? April, I just feel just like I blinked and it's gone. Anyway, I'm going to do the usual, kind of talk about books I read, shows and movies I watched, miscellaneous. Just what all I got into in April, right? Trying to make it kind of short and sweet. All right. I did put out like a vlog at the beginning of April. I was gonna do weekly vlogs for old school April. That didn't end up happening. It's fine. It's fine. So let's just chat. Let's just get into it. Okay. So got my handy dandy notebook. This is my April. Let's chat. Okay. So first up, I did finish Strega by Johanne, Lykke, Holm. I read this for Katrina Brown's Reaper Book Club. I finished it right at the beginning of the month for our little chat that we had at the beginning of the month. It was the book club pick for March, but I really liked this. I will link our chat below if you're interested to hear what we thought about it. But I thought this was so interesting, and it actually has keep kind of popping in my mind a little bit, like what really happened here, kind of thing. The gist of it is this sort of group of women, young women, are sort of sent to work at this hotel that's sort of in an isolated setting, kind of in the mountains near the little town called Strega. And things just aren't quite what they seem. They're like working in the hotel, like cleaning rooms and making food and things like that, but no guests ever seem to arrive until one night they do, and then one of the girls goes missing. And there's just things going on here. Is it witchy vibes? There's a nunnery also further up the mountain, which seems a little strange. I just really liked this a lot. It really, for me, it talked about, really hit on the points of being sort of that young woman, and then that sort of crossroads of kind of doing what you're expected to do, feel that sort of womanly role, and then what you actually really want to do. And I feel like a lot of the women that were sent there were definitely like not necessarily interested in playing that role. I just loved it. I thought it was great, really good. Look into female friendships too. I just loved it. I really loved it a lot. Yeah, we had a great chat about it. So thanks, Katrina, again for asking me to chat about that one with you. I did really enjoy that. Okay, so then we dig into basically old school April stuff. That's basically what I read, kind of what I read things for, and then a few other kind of, bits and bobs. But anyway, let's get started. I did read a Goosebumps book. I did read one of the Reader Beware, You Choose Your Scare, like Choose Your Own Adventure books. This is number 5, Night in a Werewolf Woods, and it was a lot of fun. These family goes away for like a summer vacation to their kind of usual spot they usually go to. There might be werewolves in the woods, it goes from there, and there's a bunch of different endings you could pick. It's a choose your own adventure book. So I had a really good time with that. It was a lot of fun. I then finished the Neverending Story. This is by Michael Ende. This is translated by Ralph Mannheim. Really love this cover. It's so beautiful. I liked a lot about this. I didn't like a lot about this. I was nervous to read this, but I'm glad I did read it. It's pretty, it is pretty interesting to kind of see the sort of source material for this movie that I love so much. I feel like the Neverending Story is a big part of a lot of people's childhood, and so to kind of read this the sort of origin story was definitely pretty interesting. But if you go into it thinking this is the entire first movie, it's not. That ends about not even about halfway is like the Never-Ending Story movie that we know and love, right? And then it goes into another different story, and I didn't like that back half as much. And I think because our main character Bastian was a total turd, and I just he like made the reading experience really unpleasant for me. Just saying that. But overall, this this magical world of, and it's not even called Fantasia. It's called Fantastica. I still can't get over why they changed that name for the movie. Anyway, that sort of that magical feeling of like, you know, trying to find the name for the young princess lady, and the, you know, Falcor, you know, everybody's in there, you know. That magic was there, along with that sort of unknown of the nothing and this sort of quest, you know, all that was in there, and it was really lovely. But yeah, the back half, I just didn't enjoy as much. So whatever. Okay, and then I read, what did I do with this book? I read this book. It's not in my pile here. It is called Sweet Success. What's the Maryville Mall. This is part of a series. This is a little like teen book about girls that work at a mall, and one of the girls is trying to put together this like really fashion line, because of course she's 16, but whatever. And she's like so busy doing that, and then trying to go to school and all that kind of good stuff. She's ignoring her friends and her boyfriend. It's teen drama. It was okay. It was perfect for old school April. I talked about it in another video, so I don't want to go too much into it. Then I read down 11. This is our book club pick for Death by TBR. Of course, I host with Kelly from Kelly Hooked on Books. I did really enjoy this one. I can't remember if I talked about this one though in my vlog or not. I can't remember, but overall, I really enjoyed this one. I really liked the setting, and was very interested in kind of what was going to be happening. So essentially, it starts out with what's going on. So we got a couple of characters here. One is the brother of a woman who has gone missing on this mysterious island, and we learn why she went to the island, because they're not from the island or anything. We learn why she went to the island is because the death of her young son, and so like I said, the brother has gone to this island, which is just a little weird. It's a little strange little island, and he's trying to figure out what's going on. And that's kind of the really very, very general gist of the story. And there is just, like I said, there's something weird going on with this island, and it's kind of caught in this little like time bubble. They live like it is like 1994, I think it was. So they're just kind of trapped in this little time loop, and we learn why and what's going on and who and why and what and where and how, right? So I just really liked how like the storytelling, it was done through like interviews and like emails and things like that. So kind of mixed media in that way. The audiobook was really great. Had a couple different narrators for like, some of the characters, and they're, you know, like, again, they're just kind of going back and forth. We get perspective of when she's on the island, what's going on with her, and then like again, like sort of future, you know, story of the brother trying to figure out what's going on, you know, that kind of stuff. So, and then we just learn about characters that are on the island. Overall, I thought it was really good. Maybe drug a little bit in the middle, you know, where it's kind of like, okay. But yeah, overall, I just really was interested. I was curious where everything was going to go. The ending I thought was pretty great. Yeah, I had a good time with it, so I definitely would recommend it. It was good. Okay, then I listened to the audiobook for Bunnicula, and I loved it. I loved it so much, and I think I talked about that already too. It is a treasure. I love it. Okay, and then I read All the Sinners Bleed by S.A. Cosby. This was the book club pick for Brad Proctor's Spine Breakers book club for April, and I loved this. Out of the 3 S.A. Cosby books, this might be my favorite. Ooh, do I like it more than Razorblade Tears? I think so. And I think just because I devoured this book. Like, I kept turning the pages because I had to figure out what was going on. Whoa, because this book, it goes to some places, and S.A. Cosby just writes a hell of a character. I just feel like he nails characters so well, and really, and a sense of place, you know. So he himself is a southern guy, so he really captured what it was like living in a small town in the South. Yeah, this story's set in a small town in Virginia. I think it was Virginia, and yeah, so our main character is this sheriff, and he's a black man living it, you know, has been. And, you know, like I said, sheriff of this really kind of small town, which sometimes is kind of stuck in its old ways, you know. And right in the beginning of the book, this, you know, so this sort of young man goes to a school, and a teacher is shot. So just content warning for kind of a school shooting scenario, but and this basically just opens up a can of worms about some stuff that's been going on in this town, and yeah, it went to some dark places, which are really dark places. Yeah, but I really loved it. That was great. Okay. I then read Roadside Picnic. So I think I've talked about everything before in previous videos. So again, just quick sum ups, but Roadside Picnic, I don't think I've talked about fully. I talked a little bit about it, I think, when I started it. This was fantastic. I really love this. This was written by Arcady and Boris Strugatsky. This is translated from the Russian by, where is it? I thought it was on the front, but it's not. Translated by Olena Boromashenko. And like I said, this is a sort of classic piece of Russian science fiction, published in 1972 originally. And yeah, I just really enjoy this. Like, there's just a lot that you can kind of think about and unpack here. So essentially, we're set. It's set on Earth, and what feels like sort of modern day of and at one point, some aliens basically kind of like landed on in several several areas on the planet. Looks like they kind of hung out for a while and then just took off. And then the areas where they landed and stuff have been turned to what they call these zones, and they've been left in a very weird state. There's weird magnetic gravity things, and of course, like what they call them, artifacts isn't the word, but leftover bits that they left behind, like trash. I mean, essentially that they left behind, things like that. So of course we're humans and we're curious, and so we are going into the area trying to figure out what's going on, or taking out items and things like that. And some of these items we've been using to kind of further our own technology for certain things, and just trying to research like why did they land, and what was the purpose of everything, because we don't really know, and we never really know when reading this. So if you want to know why, you don't know why. But our main character though is what they call a stalker, and he goes into the zone, and at first it was kind of like he does it like stealthily, like he's not supposed to go in there, but again, to pull out these artifacts to sell for money, because also kind of in this area, in this the city where he's at, it seems like saying times are tight, people kind of struggling a little bit to make ends meet and things like that, and so he's just trying to earn a little bit extra money right for his family, but we see what that does to him and his family, and then again, just this sort of almost like a boot heel of the government that is, like I said, surrounded this zone, and the control that they have over the area, corruption that goes along with that, very much in here. So I think it's sort of like the state of humanity and its place in the world, because if you think about, there was an analogy in here about, and why this is called a roadside picnic, is that these aliens were just taking like a Sunday drive through the universe, stopped here on Earth and had the little roadside picnic and took off. So if we are that sort of insubstantial in the universe, then what does that mean for us, that kind of thing. I just think there's a lot to unpack in here about sort of our place in the world, and then how that shrinks down into your place in your sort of city, your local kind of world, and then like your family, and how cogs in a wheel, right? I feel like I don't know, there's just a lot going on in here, and I think I would definitely benefit from a reread at some point. I think I will, maybe in a couple years or so, and but yeah, it was just super interesting. It's not a lot really happens here, what I mean, in the way that the story is told. It's not like action-packed or anything like that. It's really about these couple of characters that we follow, and like I said, their kind of role that they're playing in this sort of government machine of how they're responding to this sort of alien visitor, basically. It's good stuff. I would recommend it if it's been on your radar like mine for a long time now, but you've maybe been a little intimidated by it. I think the translation for me, I thought it was done well. Not that I'm super hip to like Russian translations, but I really did enjoy this. I thought it was very easy to digest. There were definitely some philosophical things in here. If you want to deep dive into it, I think that is there for you. And if you're, like I said, just wanting to kind of read this, this sort of modern classic, I would definitely recommend it. I really liked it. I really liked it a lot, and I definitely benefited by buddy reading this with my buddy Mike. Thanks, Mike, for buddy reading it with me. I think buddy reading it with someone was beneficial too, because we could like chat about it, chat about it a little bit as you go, and then at the end of it kind of flesh out our thoughts about what we thought. So definitely buddy read it too. I would definitely recommend that. So yeah, I liked it. Really so glad I read it, and it's not crazy long. It's like 200 pages, so it's really good. Really, really good. Okay, then I needed something a little lighter though, so I read volume 2 of Doughnuts Under a Crescent Moon. This is the sweet little romance manga that I just loved, volume 1, and I've been dying to get to number 2. And I finally did, and our girls are kind of getting together. Oh, I love it so much. So this is like a workplace romance. I think I've talked about book 1 at some point when I read it, but this is a little workplace romance, and they're kind of figuring things out, like, you know, like, do they really like each other, that kind of thing, like, are we more than friends, because we hang out a lot now, they're hanging out a lot and stuff like that, and you know, or, you know, is it, you know, are we going to take it to the next level kind of thing, to be more than friends. And oh, I just love it so much. It's so cute and sweet. I loved it. I love it. Okay, and then I've kind of picked on this book throughout the month. I don't think I talked about it before though, but A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. This is the poetry of Mr. Rogers, and of course most of this is written by Mr. Rogers himself. Illustrations in here by Luke Flowers. The illustrations are beautiful, and they're just really bright, colorful, so lovely. And these are basically like the songs that he would sing on the Mr. Rogers Neighborhood, the show. I knew he had all these songs that he would sing, and this is basically the songs. And like I said, they're just basically put to, you know, written down as like poetry, and then, you know, with a cute little you know, illustration is the word that I'm looking for. So here's like the opening song for Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, and there's Mr. Rogers changing his little shoes. Let me tell you how much I love Mr. Rogers. I love Mr. Rogers. I grew up watching Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, and I'm trying to talk about Mr. Rogers. I think he was a phenomenal human being, and I can't say anything else because I'm going to be in tears because that's how much I love Mr. Rogers. I'm a crazy person. Okay, I love this book. I love Mr. Rogers. The end. Okay. And then I had maybe just like not much time. And then I went basically almost like 5-6 days. I didn't read anything. And it wasn't really a slump because I did try to read this, Christopher Pike's Weekend. You know, I don't know Christopher Pike's for me. I read one of his books and it was and I tried to read this and I couldn't get into it. I don't know that he's for me. I don't know. I only got a couple of his books, but anyway. And then I didn't read anything for a few days, for several days, about the last week of April. But again, I wasn't like feeling slumpy. I was just doing other things, and that's fine too. But I picked up one more little like old school April book, and this is Be Good Gertie. This is a picture book, basically. This came out when E.T. turned 20, because it's like celebrate the 20th anniversary. And this is basically E.T. from like Gertie's perspective, you know. Hi, it's like, hi, my name is Gertie, and my brother brings home an alien, and this is what we do, and yada yada yada. I love this when he's like, I love that part. So yeah, it just goes through E.T. basically from like Gertie's point of view. Yeah. And it was cute and fun. I love E.T. I love E.T. too. So it was fun, a little way to end Old School April as far as my reading, because yeah, that was the last thing that I read. I had such a great time for Old School April. Thanks again to Kelsey and all the amazing co-hosts for creating such a great time for us. Yeah, but let's talk about what I watched too. Again, I talked about a lot of these already. I watched Fashion from 1986, skateboard movie, and Gleaming the Cube, skateboard movie. Great. I watched Frankenhooker as a watch party. It was fun. The Hidden as a watch party. Amazing. Loved it. I watched an episode of Green Acres. I watched an episode of Hogan's Heroes. I watched the wrestling watch party that Kelsey hosted for us. Some couple old school wrestling matches. That was fun. I watched a handful of Saturday morning cartoons and a couple of other watch parties. Great Mouse Detective. That was one of the watch parties too. Oh, I haven't watched that one in a long time. And yeah, I loved it. Great Mouse Detective is really good. It's underrated. It's very good. King Kong Escapes. Watched that one over on Andrew from It Came From the Pages Patreon. Weird Movie Club. I think that was for that, right? Yeah. That was fun. I watched Interstellar for like the millionth time. One of my favorite movies. Didn't really count for Old School April, but I sat through. I watched it again. It's like I love that movie. It's like a cut part movie. I love it. I watched E.T. the Killer. I think I talked about that. E.T. the Killer. I love it. Don't recommend really to anyone. It's so uber violent, but I love it so much. And then I finished off with Tremors. Another watch party. I love Tremors. I've watched Tremors, I don't know how many times I've watched Tremors. And I love it every single time I watch it because it is so good. It's so good. It's like silly, fun, monsters in the ground. I mean, it's, what's not to love, really? Tremors, yes. Was that all I watched? Yeah, because I've been watching some K-pop stuff, so, which doesn't really count for Old School April. And I watched some TV shows. I watched some of my drama shows. I've been watching this Thai show called Pit Babe. I technically just finished it today on May 5th, but I watched several episodes of that in April. It took me a few episodes to get into it, but then I was hooked. So I did, Pit Babe. Been still watching Hometown Cha-Cha-Cha as well. Loving it. I've only got a couple more episodes of that K-drama. I'm going to be finishing it out. I'm loving it. I just love it so much. Is that all for Old School April? Let's see. I did some of the prompts or the activities. I failed miserably at 6 out April. I think I posted one day. I did color I forgot my coloring page is downstairs. I colored a Muppet Babies coloring page. I did play some Banjo-Kazooie on my Nintendo 64. Ate some Eggos and Toaster Strudels and Pop-Tarts. I ate some nostalgic foods like corn dog. I bought some corn dogs. That was kind of nostalgic. Cotton candy, and stuff like that. I watched like 12 nostalgic music videos and listened to 12 nostalgic songs. I listened to a lot more than 12, but yeah. I didn't ever get around to singing a verse from a song. I did that last year. I just didn't get around to doing it this year. And yeah, Toaster Strudels, Pop-Tarts. Yeah. So I didn't get to every, all the little activity prompts for Old School April, but I did pretty good. I just had a really good time. I really did. It was so much fun. And even though that kind of last week, I really kind of slacked off. But yeah, so let's see. What else happened in April? It feels like a million years ago already. And May just started. ATEEZ was at Coachella. I talked about that already. They just tore up the place. It was amazing. The new Extraordinary Heroes album came out. Phenomenal. I did a deep dive into Boy Next Door K-pop group in April. I love them. I am now obsessed. I love them so much. The new IVE album is great. What else? That's about it. A bunch of comebacks. April has been a busy K-pop month. Lots of comebacks from groups and stuff. Yeah, so whew. And though it happened on May 1st, let me tell you about my ticketing experience. Okay, whoa, I kicked my tripod here. Let me tell you about my Ticketmaster experience for getting tickets to one of my favorite, all-time favorite K-pop groups, ATEEZ. I just mentioned how they were at Coachella, right? Okay, because I knew it was going to be tough. It's going to be tough, right? So my sister and I mean, it's probably 2 years ago now, we said, we are going to go to ATEEZ tour. Next time they come around, we're going, okay? And we were like, 2024 is the year. We know they're going to be going on tour. We're going. And so we've been preparing ourselves. And so the day finally came. May 1st, the tickets went on sale. So I know this technically isn't April, but it just happened now. So I'm going to talk about it because I want to forget it. Absolutely click away if you don't care about this. I just think it's kind of funny. And so, yeah, May 1st. And so I was at work and I like blocked myself off on my calendar. I was like, don't bother me right now. I told my supervisor I'm taking an early lunch today. So I'm not even in the office. I stepped away, went down to like the ass end of the hall so I could be like quiet by myself, right? In my big building I work in. Anyway, I said, don't nobody bother me right now. Okay. And so, it's crazy. And you know how anyone who's ever here in the U.S., if you have dealt with Ticketmaster, like, it can be a struggle. And then I knew I was going to be out here fighting all these other fans for like really good tickets. Like I knew what to expect, right? Little did I know. Oh my gosh. Okay, so 10 minutes before you log, you get into your ticket. I had my pre-sale code and everything. I joined their fan club like last year in preparation for this. Like, I need the pre-sale code because this shit's gonna sell out. Yeah. So, and so I got my code. Like, I'm ready. I am ready. I'm logged in. I got everything set up. Like, yeah, I'm ready to go. So And so, you log in about 10 minutes early. They stick you in like what they call the waiting room. So, you're do elevator music for 10 minutes as you're waiting to get in line. And so once the, hits the time and you were put in a line, essentially. When I saw that I was 3,900th in line, I was aghast. I was like, oh my God, this is not going to end well for me. And so, but I'm just like, I'm just waiting there at the end of the hall, sitting in a little chair, like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And so the line, it's finally my turn. And, like the seating map pops up on my screen. And I'm just doing all this on my phone, seating map pops up. Not a single ticket showing available for the lower level or general admission. Only like 200 level, which is like the upper level, which is like upper level. I'm like, this is not what we wanted. We wanted lower level. Like, we had talked about this. This is what we wanted. This is our YOLO. We're buying the ticket. We're going, right? And so I was like, oh hell no. Oh hell no. I'm not accepting this. Yeah, And so I saw a little blue thing kind of flash up on one of the seating charts, and I was like, I bet things are shifting around. So I nervously refreshed. I was like, please don't throw me out of line. And yeah, a bunch of seats popped up for the 100 level. And so I would click to add to cart, gone already. Click to add to cart, gone already. Click to add to cart, gone already. Refresh, click to add to cart, gone. These bitches out here beating me to my seats. They're not bitches, I'm just exaggerating anyway. And then I get to, right, and I get to my cart and I'm loading it. I'm like, I'm ready. I don't have to add anything. I'm ready. Tell me why the payment information is blank. There's nothing there for me. Absolutely nothing. And I'm panicking. I'm like, oh my God, I got these tickets in my cart and I can't pay for them because it's saying, where's my information? Everything's preloaded. It should be there for me. And you get 10 minutes on the ticker, like you got 10 minutes to buy these tickets or they're gone, right? And I didn't know what to do because the payment information wasn't there and I couldn't click on anything to add anything, nothing. It was just totally a white spot. I was like, oh my God. And so I had to back out and I had to give up those seats and I was like, oh my God. And then I start the whole process over again, refreshing, picking 2 tickets, they'd be gone, refreshing, picking 2 tickets, they'd be gone, refreshing, picking 2 seats, they'd be gone. So I finally got 2 more. In the lower level where we wanted, really close to the stage as far as like this side. Like if you're like an oval, let's think of it like an oval, right? So the stage is here and then of course general admission is here, but the 100 level that we got was close to the stage. I'm not making that very clear. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. The point is we got the tickets that we wanted. They were crazy expensive. The most I've ever paid for a concert ticket. But again, we're YOLOing and we are going to have a great time. So, but oh my God. And then when I went to buy those, the payment information was there. It was filled out ready for me to go. So like, phew. But anyway, it took me half an hour to buy those tickets because I was constantly like picking tickets on seats and they'd be gone. I was like, I'm going to fight these people out in the street for these tickets. But anyway, if anyone else went through AT's ticketing, let me know because oh my God. But anyway, so and tell me why Ticketmaster fees are so expensive. I know we talk about that, kind of if you're a concert goer at all, like how crazy the fees are, but why were the fees for these 2 tickets over $200 for fucking fees? Oh my God, like WTF, for real. Something's got to be done about that. It is crazy. It's too much. Anyway, but we got the tickets, so I can't even express to you how excited I am. Do you see it on my face? Can you tell? I'm so excited. So yeah, I'm just really excited. I've got those tickets, so I got something to look forward to towards the kind of latter part of the summer. I get to see my sister, who I hardly ever get to see. So she lives on the West Coast and I'm East Coast, so we're flying to meet kind of in the middle section to go to a little quick girls weekend to go to the concert. We're so excited. I'm so excited. Got a little hotel booked. I think the last room at the hotel that I was looking at. Whew. It's crazy out here in these streets, Anyway, if you want the ticket, you gotta be able to fight. I think it's kind of note to myself, though, that you can refresh when looking for tickets, and it won't kick you out of line or anything like that, because I was nervous at first, like, if I refresh it, do I mess myself up, you know? But, so you just got to keep trying. Just keep refreshing those seats. If you're, you know, getting, like, a real high demand tickets, just keep refreshing and something will pop up. So, I can only imagine all that Taylor Swift fiasco that happened for her ticketing. Oh my gosh, I can't even imagine. This is, like, ATEEZ is not Taylor Swift level, you know what I mean? Like, I can't even imagine trying to get stuff for, like, someone bigger, and these guys are big enough, you know? Whoa. Anyway, phew, I was stressed, but I got it. Anyway, I'm rambling now, so this is turned into a really long video. Anyway, let me know what y'all got into for April. I really would like to know. And if you did also April, I hope you had fun. And thanks for watching, guys. I hope that you're doing well and taking care of yourself and doing the things that bring you joy, because this is what life is about. Okay. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one. All right. Bye.